We often think we know people based on what they say, how they present themselves, or the image they project to the world. But true character isn't found in big speeches or polished appearances. It's revealed in the subtle, everyday cues that most people overlook. These little details can quietly expose who someone really is beneath the mask. Let's dive into 10 of the most telling signs. 1. How they treat people who can't benefit them. It's easy to be polite to a boss, a teacher, or someone we admire. But the real test comes when there's nothing to gain. Watch how someone interacts with waiters, janitors, or strangers. Do they show kindness and respect, or do they act dismissive and superior? How they treat those with no power over them often speaks louder than how they treat those they're trying to impress. 2. Their reaction to other people's success. Jealousy and resentment are difficult emotions to hide. If a friend or a colleague gets good news, pay attention to the reaction. Do they genuinely celebrate and encourage them, or do they subtly belittle the achievement? Someone who can't be happy for others reveals insecurity and competitiveness. On the other hand, being supportive and uplifting shows strength of character. 3. How they handle failure or mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes, but not everyone handles them the same way. A person's response to failure reveals a lot about their maturity. Do they own up to their errors, apologize if necessary, and learn from the experience? Or do they shift blame, make excuses, and avoid responsibility? True character shows up in accountability. 4. Their behavior under stress. Stress strips away the masks people wear. In difficult or chaotic situations, their natural tendencies come forward. Do they stay calm, problem solve, and try to help others, or do they lash out, panic, or manipulate? You'll often discover the real person not during calm times, but when life turns messy. 5. Consistency between words and actions. Talk is cheap, and promises are easy to make. The real test is whether someone follows through. Do their actions align with their words? Do they show up when they said they would, or keep the commitments they made? Consistency between what they say and what they do is one of the clearest signs of integrity. 6. The way they speak about others behind their backs. Pay close attention to how someone talks when the subject of conversation isn't present. Do they show respect even when that person isn't around, or do they gossip, criticize, and tear them down? Chances are, the way they talk about others behind closed doors is how they'll eventually talk about you. 7. Their patience in small situations. Character isn't just revealed in grand moments, but in everyday inconveniences. Notice how someone reacts when waiting in line, stuck in traffic, or facing a small delay. Do they show patience and understanding, or do they become rude and irritable? Patience in the small things often points to emotional discipline in larger matters. 8. How they use power. Even in small doses, power doesn't always come in big forms. It can be as simple as being a team leader, organizing a project, or having a little more knowledge than others. Do they use that position to help, encourage, and lift others up? Or do they take advantage, control, or belittle? How someone handles even a small taste of power reveals how they'd behave with much more. 9. The way they handle boundaries. Respect for boundaries is a subtle but crucial sign of character. Do they respect your time, space, and personal limits, or do they constantly push for more, ignoring your comfort? Someone who honors boundaries demonstrates empathy and self-control, while someone who doesn't shows entitlement and disregard for others. 10. Their acts when no one is watching. Perhaps the most powerful cue of all is what a person does when they believe nobody will find out. Do they cut corners, lie, and act carelessly, or do they act with honesty and integrity, even in private? True character isn't built in public. It's revealed in the unseen choices people make when no one is around to applaud them. At the end of the day, character isn't about grand gestures or rehearsed words. It's about the consistent little things. If you pay attention to these hidden cues, you'll start to see people for who they really are. But just as importantly, these signs are a mirror. They challenge us to ask, how do we treat others, handle stress, or act when nobody's watching? Because the way we live in those moments is the truest reflection of our own character.